My name's Don Lacey. I've worked with the Abu Dhabi Education Council for the last 2.5 years. I've worked with Dr. Mughir Al-Khaili, who's our chairman and our Director General. He's His Excellency, and I've worked with him for 6 years. We're implementing something that's probably the most exciting project in the world. I came from Canada 6 years ago. We started the program, the strategic plan was started to be implemented a 1.5 years ago. We started with grade 1 and 2 and grade 12. And then last year was so successful, we've expanded it to kindergarten this year and grade 3, and next year is going to grade 4, and we're going through grade 10, 11, and 12. And in the next 6 or 7 years, English will be taught in all of our 300 schools. Only by native English speakers. An important part of the project is we want our students to be able to compete in the academic world and the business world all over the Western societies, Western universities, Western businesses, Western colleges, and to do that they have to have a high level of English and a high level of Western thinking and reasoning through an English medium.
The teaching experience itself, I think, is similar in that you've got a daily routine for the students, and they come in and you have a classroom and there are tables and set up and so forth. So, I mean, in many ways that's the same. Some of the school, the facility and the inside there are the labs and the computer labs, the science labs, the canteens, the gymnasium, that's all the same. When you look at it though, it's very different. Well, obviously, because it's another part of the world. Yeah. The schools are segregated in that the kindergarten schools are co-ed, both women staff and women principals. The grade 1, 2, 3, and 4 classes, all the girls are in one school, so it's a female school, and all the boys are in the other school. The girls' schools will have only female staff and a female principal. The boys' schools will either have a male staff with a male principal, or they will have an all-female staff.
We are a huge school system. We have 306 schools that work in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. And for those that are contemplating coming to the Middle East, Abu Dhabi is one of the 7 emirates. And it's the wealthy emirate, and it's the one emirate that has enough money to make this reform work. But our 306 schools, the average size of the school would be 50 to 60 teachers. With lots of students in the schools. It's very heavily populated through the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. And with our 306 schools, next year we're going to be possibly closing 20 to 30, and we're going to be building another 20 to 30. So the populations are changing. The populations are moving from the Abu Dhabi island, where we have very few schools and very few students anymore, and they're moving out to the suburbs, just like they do in some of our major Western cities. So our schools we're continually in a state of flux. So the best thing for us to do is to do a draft in June, and then we come back at the end of August and we find out a school that has 600 students. There's only 400, and we find another school that has 400 students, and they end up with 600 students. And we really don't know till opening day, because we don't have the same kind of student registration systems that we have in some of the Western world. So, and we've also learned that even if we say you're going to go to Mohammed bin Mohammed school, and maybe it's an old rundown school, we don't really have any of those because we're a new education system. Your heart is set on that, and even though it may be a tough community and a tough school, and you get here and we say you're not going to be at Mohammed bin Mohammed school, you're going to be at Sultan Mohammed school, all of a sudden you're disappointed, but you might be going to a much better school in many ways. But we don't want to disappoint people, we don't want to disrupt people. We don't want to disrupt the students, so we really don't know until we see the students' eyes in that first week, so we don't guarantee a school. But I want to add that that's not really that much different than working in Chicago or New York or Toronto. You're hired to a school system, and nobody's hired to a school in North America. So if you think of coming from a system like the New York School Board, you may have an hour and a half drive. It would be a normal situation. Our emirate, you will have an hour drive probably, because we're a large metropolitan city.
And I guess I would add to that that we do try to put together what we think is going to be an effective team, and we balance the team. And so, because we're recruiting from people from all over the world, we want to have a balance of nationalities, a balance of experience, a balance of say if it's a specialty area, so some people have IT as a second specialty, or drama or whatever. So we try to put together unique teams.
Advice to teachers with families is don't bring your family at first. You're going to put a lot of time into the school, you're going to put a lot of time into getting your resident visa established, getting your medicals, getting your home established, getting your furniture there, working out your team situation. It's very, very time consuming. And what will your family be doing? We've tended to put them in a hotel for 2 or 3, 4 weeks, and we've learned that that families aren't very happy in hotels for those 2 or 3
and
weeks.
It's expensive.
And it's very expensive for the families. And so the mother or father goes to work and comes home 10 or 12 hours later because they're starting out in a new job and a new culture, and find that in hotels, if they want to eat in a hotel, if you get your laundry done in a hotel, if you want to go to movies, if your kids go shopping, you'll find you're going to run out of money in the first 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, and you're going to run out of energy in the first 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm hoping that next year, if it's up to me, I would develop a policy where families could not come with the teacher, unless it's very, very extenuating circumstances, like possibly a nursing mother. But other than that, I'd advise against bringing your family for the first month or 2.
The other advice that I would give to families is, with children, school-age children, do your homework, because schooling, our schools are just for Emirati children, and so the expat children cannot attend to the schools. And so there are private schools here, but private school means that there's a cost. And so if you're planning to bring your family and you have school-age children, do your homework. And because that is your job, we don't do anything about finding schools for other students. First and foremost, you're a good teacher. You know children, you know pedagogy, you know how to deliver a lesson, you know how to engage them. You're a good teacher. It is a hard ask, it's a hard job to do, because the children do not understand English and they do not speak English at home. And so just having an ESL course is not it's not the same as an ESL environment. So know your craft, know how to deliver your craft, and then add to it patience, flexibility, adaptability, understanding, a sense of humor, and be able to get to an openness to something new and wonderful.
And that's well said, and I just want to add to it, if you're going to come to the Middle East and say, I'd like to make it like home, it's not going to work for you if you say, we did this way in our school, at home we used to do it this way. You are about as far away from home as you can be, and they've been educating kids very successfully here for decades. And the families are different. The students are learning in different ways and used to learning in different ways. And taking a model from a Western country and saying that we're going to make that work in our classroom here, do your research, because that's not going to work that way. You're going to have to incorporate the beauty of the culture, the learning styles of the culture, the brilliant minds that are in this culture. You're going to have to nurture them and work with them in different ways. So like Jane says, take all those good things that you know and listen and listen and listen, and you think you figure it out, listen some more. Excited about meeting people that also want to be excited and have the passion to help those little kids in ways that will change their opportunities in life forever. We're a rapidly expanding organization. We have hired a very select number of excellent recruitment companies, a very small number, and we only recruit through the recruitment companies. We don't accept application forms at our office, we don't accept them by email, we don't have any facility to do that. Our policy, our procedures, the way we do business is we need to have the companies working as close partners with us, so applicants must go through one of the companies.